Welcome back to Mark Halbus the Vlog. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in again today on this wonderful Sunday morning. How old is too old to drive an exotic car, a supercar? When is it time to say, hey, you know what? That's a young man's game. I'm going to hang up the spurs and we're going to call it a day. We're going to talk about that today because we're all getting older, and there's definitely an age you want to buy and own these ideally, but there's also an age where you might consider just basically giving it up and calling it a day. So let's get into that. Let's go for a ride. So it's really easy to love these supercars at any age. So basically there's a reality, and my reality is you're only as young as you feel. You know, there's people on my other channel that have commented and made references to, you know, me not being, 18 years old driving a Lamborghini. I mean, you see those types of comments all over the internet. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a little older for sure. I've got 4 kids and a wife. But why would you want to limit yourself? I truly believe that you're as young as you feel, and just because you hit 30, it doesn't mean you need to necessarily drive a certain car, or you hit 40 means you should drive this, or 50 you should drive this. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's a necessity. I truly believe you're, again, as I say, you're as young as you feel, and the cars you drive are really only an indication as to not who you're trying to be. And because in my opinion, I think, if you're doing it for poser reasons, that's maybe not necessarily the best reason, but hey, to each his own. I do it because I enjoy these cars, and I'm not going to let whatever the age is that I am to dictate the kind of car that I drive, just because it might offend some 17-year-old because he thinks that I'm trying to be a 20-year-old. And the reality is it doesn't matter to me. I've got friends, I'll just kind of put it this way. I've got friends in the 30s. They drive certain cars, and I've got friends in their 40s and they have different types of cars. I have friends in 50s and 60s as well, and they drive different kinds of cars. Now, I have friends that have a lot of money in some cases, and others that just kind of live like every day, and and they work from check to check, and they pay their rent with it, but not a whole lot left over. So I have friends of all different types of financial backgrounds, and I'll be honest, I mean, by the time a lot of people have the money to drive supercars, why would you wait till you're 60 or 70? But start driving it sooner if you can. But the reality, unfortunately, is a lot of younger guys. I know, like I said in previous videos, when I was 20, I could only dream about driving an exotic. Even in my 30s, I was still getting started in life. I mean, at that point, all you're doing is, you're setting up for family, right? If you have the intention on having wife and kids, at that point, you're starting to get into your career, you're starting to get into your life, buying a house and having that 2.3 kids and a dog and all of those good things that a lot of people do in their 20s, 30s, and then even into their 40s. So often, you're not in a place in your life where you're in your 30s and either financially being able to support yourself to buy an exotic or supercar, as well as you're just not there, even your head a lot of times, because you're building a family and a career, and those are all great reasons to refocus. But like I said, I've got friends that have cars, pretty substantial cars, and when I say that, I mean, how old is too old? As I said before, I've got friends that have cars in their 60s, and they have collections of Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Are they trying to pose? Not at all. These are people that have significant bankrolls, and they're not doing it to show off. As a matter of fact, most of the people that I know that have basically 7-figure incomes aren't doing it to show off. They actually take the car out on a Friday morning when nobody else is around. They go for these quiet drives just as a small group. They're not trying to show off. They're actually trying to enjoy the car for what it is and the experience. They're enjoying it because the car's experience, what it does for you, and the emotions it brings out. And that's why I've always enjoyed these cars. It's not, to have a cool car, and just be somebody that everybody's looking up to. I think owning these cars is really about driving a fun and having that great experience. And so, how old is too old? I started driving Porsches in my 20s, and that was a great car to have at the time. If I could have afforded a Lamborghini back then, I sure would have, but I couldn't. So now we're just at a point where we can. And so I'm starting to drive some of these supercars now, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute of it. And to be honest, for those people that think, well, you know, I'm too old, you know, say hypothetically you're 57 years old, maybe you're considering retirement, you're like, well, this is a bad time to buy a car like that. I've got to be more responsible. You know, maybe I have to consider retirement, putting money away. Why would I be buying an expensive car when I can put that into retirement funds? For what? I mean, some people enjoy golfing, or some people enjoy travel, which you can't do right now because of this world crisis, but everybody has their own things that they like to do. And if you're a car person like me, and say, for example, you're finally at a point where you can actually afford a car like this, and you're in your 50s or your 60s, why would you let that stop you? But if you are in a place, why let age stop you? I mean, like I said, I've got friends in their 60s, and I've also got friends in their 30s, and it all makes sense. At the time, if you're a car person, there's really no limit as to the age that you are when you're driving these machines. This here's one reason why you can never be too old to drive a supercar. Whoa! That's why that just doesn't get old. And it doesn't matter if you're 60 or if you're 30, that is exciting regardless. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Maybe you have a balanced inner ear issue, maybe you don't. I mean, with age, there comes other little ailments that can maybe cause you to not be able to drive cars like this, because after all, these cars are like essentially a roller coaster ride. Driving them hard and fast is a lot of fun, and you don't have to be a young guy to enjoy that. And so another reason that you don't really need to have a limit to the age of owning one of these cars is, as you get older, you realize that life's a little shorter, and you don't have unlimited time on the earth. So it's great. You do start appreciating the smaller things and the simpler things in life. And a lot of that is the smiles and the faces of people that light up when they see one of these cars. I've had people, men, women, children, you know, a dad comes over with his son and would like him, you know, like to see the car a little closer. I say, jump in, yeah, have a look at it, because, you know, people like that just get excited, and I see why. I mean, I was in the same boat. Got very, very excited, and you know, those are the little things that we start to appreciate, and it just does give you a getaway. It gives you some place to go for a drive, or just get away from some reality. There's enough nasty reality in the news today. Getting in behind the wheel of one of these cars makes you forget all of that, and it doesn't matter if, again, as I say, if you're 68 or if you're 30, 32, or if you're 18. I mean, you can enjoy it at any age, and don't let those naysayers tell you otherwise, that you're just too old. Be more mature, be more responsible. Why? For what? We're not here forever, so let's enjoy some of this. So what do you guys think? Have any of you guys out there been confronted with similar conversations, told that you're too old, be more mature, buy something more sensible? I mean, I've certainly heard lots of those conversations to me personally. What do you guys think? Do you think there's an age that's just too old, that you should just give it up? I'd love to hear what you have to say about it all. That would be great, guys. So again, as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there. And as well, I'd love to hear your comments. Again, it's a short life. Let's enjoy it. And don't let those naysayers get you down. Hope to see you next time. See you soon. Bye-bye.